Welcome to my podcast, From Divorce to Divinely Designed. I am your host, Michelle Wright, a spiritual mentor and guide for women navigating the full arc of rebuilding a life after divorce. Whether you're in the middle of the hardest chapter, opening your heart to love again, or rebuilding a blended family, you are in the right place. In this podcast, we explore how this is not happening to you, but how it is happening for you. Let's begin. Hello, beautiful souls. I'm so glad you're here. And today we're going to talk about chaos. Those tower moments where everything explodes in your life. And if you're not sure, the tarot card has the tower. And the tower has a lightning bolt that goes down and is just exploding it apart. And it shows people flying out from that. So those are tower moments. And they come in our life in many different ways. You'll see small tower moments. Your car breaks down in the middle of a vacation or on the way to an important interview or job. You'll see them in divorce, and you see them in blending, you see them in retirement, in empty nesting. These tower moments, these crossroads, it's been a shift in my life in how I saw them and how I have made meaning out of them. When I was younger, I really saw them as something happening to me, and I really thought it was just me doing a lot of wrong things and that I just had bad luck and things were happening to me. I also, at that time, did not recognize the role of my nervous system and how that could alter my perception of events and what was happening. And when I'm younger, I'm talking 30 years ago. So this is pre-cell phones, pre-Facebook. At that time, we still mailed letters. That's how we communicated. We mailed letters to each other. And it was challenging as I went through my first divorce, because what I really did was, in this chaos and trying to find the meaning, I really looked outside of me and said, well, who do you say I am? Who do you say I am in this new version, or what has happened? And depending on where those individuals were, or in their own lives, or who they were in my life, it wasn't always edifying. It wasn't always something that really helped me. And it also set my locus of control outside of myself. And the shift that I was able to make in my second divorce was to recognize that I needed to come deeper within myself. There was a lot of healing that I needed to have happen. And at the same time, my mom is getting deep into Reiki, into crystals, into energy work. And she's also using angel cards, Doreen Virtue's angel cards. And as we chat, and as she's listened to Carolyn Myss, the sacred contracts, she's starting to talk to me about this different understanding, this just different way of looking at the world and making sense of the chaos that I'm in. And I found it was instrumental in helping me get deeper within myself, start listening to my own heart, my own soul, and my own answers. It didn't happen overnight. It took a lot of years. As I've said before, those 10 years of healing, it took a lot of time for me to really start to slowly reroute who I was and making sense of the chaos. Now, for me, in a human design, I have a very active gate of shock and initiation, which means that this is my life path. My life path is to make sense and meaning out of these tower moments, these shocking events that really abruptly change your life trajectory. And this gift is now something that I'm able to work with women on. And that's what happens in my clarity sessions and in my mentorship sessions. I'm able to connect to the energy of my client and really listen to what their questions are and help them through the cards, through our discussion, make meaning of the chaos that's around them. And one of the first ways for me, which is the same way that I help the women, is going, first of all, inside of yourself. You have to turn down the nervous system and recognize its role in your life. Your ego or nervous system is there to keep you alive, not to keep you fulfilled, in bliss, happy, joy-filled, in a life of purpose. No, to keep you alive. So anything that shifts that sends an alert in your system. And so your cortisol levels just go through the roof. And I don't know if any of you have a watch that helps track, and this is a Garmin, and it says you've had a stressful day. And it's interesting now that it can register my stress levels. I have had stressful days when I'm interacting with other people and there can be a difference of opinion, and I see that my heart is racing. And this happens stressful days when I'm sure if I had had it during my divorce, it would have been stressful day, stressful day, stressful day. Being a single mother, definitely stressful day. But I didn't at that time have a watch to tell me that. I just started to recognize that there was so much noise that I had to start making it quiet. So for me, I was already in a life of prayer. I already felt very connected to a divine source. So I would just start to have really quiet times with music playing and just listening to what my mind was talking about, listening to my body, where I was at. And it wasn't until later that I recognized that just by being quiet now, taking deep breaths, I was actually giving my body a message that I was safe, and it was calming down my parasympathetic nervous system. And I didn't know that at the time. Just taking a deep breath, finding quiet moments does that. And then I had the angel cards that came in. And for me, that really started to help me shift my thinking and my perception, which was essential for me. I had some real self-critical thoughts that were actually quite damaging. The angel cards helped me to track and think about things in a different way. And so pulling and using an oracle card can really help you with that. A suggestion that I have is just getting an oracle deck. And if you need help with that, just send me a message and I can help you. And what I would do is just start tracking your energy every day, and just might be, what do I need to learn today? And pull it in the morning, and then at night, go back to it and recognize where that energy was in your day and what kind of message it was sending you. Because every card deck has a different way, a different voice of speaking to you. And start to recognize in your practice as you do that. The other thing that does by in the morning and at night, it sets up a time to really connect first with your own heart and your own soul, your own messages, your own spirit team in the morning and at night. And what naturally happens is that I will start and just say, I'm just so grateful that I have this morning, that I awoke. And if I'm here at the lake, then I might be out on the deck and I hear the birds chirping and they're coming to our bird feeders. The sun is peeking through the trees onto the lake. And I'm just like, I just go through this list of how grateful I am of being alive. So even just that, I'm breathing deep. I'm coming alive. I'm just taking these moments. As a single mom, what that looked like in those times, my boys would be asleep. And I would just be sitting in my living room. And I loved at that time candles. And I would just be watching candles. I didn't know until later that is a way to get into meditation. You can actually just watch the candle flicker. And we've all, if you have, I find that same thing when you sit around a campfire, you just watch the flames flicker. And it allows you to get into this spiritual space, into your body space. And that's part of making meaning in chaos, is finding that time. And now, because I bookended it and I did it before I went to bed as well, that might be a time that I journaled where I had time. So for me, I can be trapped in my mind and spirally thinking, and I can be in negative what ifs. So journaling, just free-flowing journaling. I'm not saying this happened this day, that happened, unless I wanted to. But for the most part, I'm just talking about my hopes, my fears, my dreams, what's going on. And I'm actually just allowing it to free flow from my body, from my mind, just anything that's coming in. And I've kept all of these journals. I don't necessarily go back and track it. Some people do. So some people really love to go back and track cycles in their life, cycles in their month. What are their mood cycles? Is it tied to their menstruation cycle? Is it tied to what's happening? So that's making meaning of chaos that's going on in your life. And another powerful aspect of doing this is that it helped me to break the illusion that I was alone in this. Because as I sat in prayer, meditation, contemplation, and I connected to my angels, the divine, the universe, however you call that, as I connected, I didn't feel alone. I did not. And sometimes I would ask for things. Sometimes I would just be in conversation. It would just be an ongoing litany, talking out loud. And in some of the really deep spiraling moments, I remember the first time that my boys went for 2 weeks with their dad for holidays. And it was the first time in my entire life I was away from my children for 2 weeks. And my soul was shattering. My heart was shattering. I did not know how to exist without them with me. And I remember making this deep plea and just saying, in this chaos, in this darkness that I am feeling, I need you to help me. I need you to just heal me, be with me, comfort me. And I felt it. I felt the presence wrap around me. My breath came, and I just started breathing. So making sense of the chaos can be through that prayer, through those practices of using cards, using your breath, journaling. My mom, as I said, was also following Carolyn Myss, doing sacred contracts at this time. So we would have these conversations about these sacred contracts that we have always been connected with the greater universe, God creator, and the collective of all beings on earth. So we're already connected. We're never apart from them. And so in this idea that Carolyn Myss has of sacred contracts, it's that we have contracts with different people in our lives. And we're going to come down into earth and live this life in these contracts. Sometimes we are the ones causing tower moments in their lives. And sometimes we are the recipient of tower moments from other people, or sometimes we agree to give each other tower moments, which for me, that was divorce. And it helped me reframe that idea of moving, it's happening to me. So this victim consciousness, it helped me reframe that into a locus of control and into that movement of being curious about why would I ever choose to have a life in which I had 2 divorces and 10 years of being single, a single parent, working on my career. Why? And that curiosity of why slowly started to unveil itself. And it's actually by going to a card reader that part of the answer started to emerge as reflections were coming back to me. And some of them were that I needed to reframe what love was. I actually, at that point, was framing love for everything that I could give. And since then, I've read books like The Invisible Woman, On Our Best Behavior, these different books that have really helped me to reframe how, as a woman, I have been trained to think or experience the world that I'm in, and that my value is in how I can serve others. And so it makes complete sense. That's how I was taught. That's what was reinforced in my life. And here I had these tower moments that were shifting me to say, but you're not happy. This is not good for you. This is not good for your heart, your soul. This is not good for you financially, physically, where you're at in your life. This is not good. And you need to choose your own happiness. That was really hard for me to say, I need to choose my own happiness. And it became a journey of worthiness. It became a journey of self-love. It became a journey of viewing myself already connected to the divine, and therefore I am of divine source, and I am worthy of this divine light, love, and joy in my life. And that's how I had to make meaning, is by going through these experiences. Another thing I started to recognize, because I think as I got in with the cards and I got into even more spiritual practices, as you know from this podcast, I actually started to get a magical thinking. And what that meant is I'm going to use these cards so that I can avoid discomfort and displeasure at all cost. And do you know what happened? That never happens. Nope. And actually then I started, my tower moments continued to happen. And I'm like, but I'm pulling the cards. I'm doing everything right. And that's where it is. I'm doing everything right. And it's like, these tower moments are here to actually pull everything down. So whatever is right is not necessarily where my soul wanted to go. And I found that in blending a family. I found that in retirement. I found that in shifting my career. And it was amazing to see this chaos around me and to recognize that actually the invitation was to dive into this chaotic darkness and to sit with it and to not go into self-deprecating self-talk that was negative and critical. Once again, it just invites that curiosity, because it's like, how can everything that I worked for not be perfect? And it gets you to think about, okay, is this what I'm looking for? Is this perfect life? And as soon as you do that, you recognize that is a stagnant life. Joy and bliss and happiness happens within a bubble. And when we look at these chaotic tower moments, they actually expand us even further than what we were into an even higher and greater sense of life. How do I know this? My beautiful husband is out on the deck right now. He is in his fulfillment, which is our new way of saying retirement, fulfillment part of life. And he is writing a song about our love. Yeah. Let me say that again. He is writing a song about our love. So now I have to go back to the chaotic meaning, and I can only see it now from this 2020 hindsight view. But had I not chosen myself, had I not chosen to go through all of these different tower moments and make meaning, and each and every day find a way forward by pulling the cards, by learning how to calm my nervous system, by the journaling, had I not just step by step made these changes, I would not be here today in this beautiful cottage with my husband outside writing me a song about our love together. Because I have to tell you, that is absolutely romantic. It is. And I am so blessed, and it makes me so happy. And I can have tears in my eyes because I still have a hard time accepting it, that I am worthy of these moments in my life. I'm worthy of it. And this is where, for you, I need you to recognize I am talking about 37 years from first divorce to now. This is a lot of time, and I didn't figure it out in one heartbeat, one card pull, one reading. I figured it out through many different card readings, through many different spiritual modalities, astrology, human design, paganism, moonology, and really looking for meaning around me to help guide myself into a deeper inner knowing, inner love, inner compassion and forgiveness, and then surrendering and trusting that when the tower moment hits my life, even now, it is for a reason and a purpose. Do I get panicked and spiral? Yes. I think that's natural. But do I come out of it much sooner? I sure do. And I recognize that now that these tower moments are here for a reason, that there is a purpose in it, that it's an invitation into the curiosity of where I'm going next, and to really allow the unraveling and unknowing of that just to be the journey. The unraveling and unknowing of that to be the journey is some of the hardest things that I have done. And I still go to card readers, I go to astrologists, human design readers, and I gain insight. Even though I do daily cards, I recognize the insight from someone else, just connecting with my energy. And I allow it to resonate with where I am. And that's what I offer to you. I offer you clarity sessions. I offer you so look at those on michellewright.co. That is my Instagram handle. It's also my website. So you can go there. You can go onto my Instagram, and every week on the Sacred Portal, I ask people if you want me to pull cards for you, and I give you a little mini reading. It's a way that we start to make meaning out of the chaos that's going in our lives. And it's an important part of recognizing that there is wisdom at play in the tower falling down. We just don't know it yet. And it's our job to pull the rubble aside and to heal with what's lost, because when the tower falls, there is deep grief in that. And we have to recognize the grieving process and be kind and compassionate with ourselves as we grieve that and say, yes, that was really hard. It can be the loss of a friendship, the loss of a marriage, the loss of a career, a job, a home. And all of these things bring grief into your life. And so you have to work through that, be present and process and integrate those feelings. And then the wisdom starts to unfold itself. And I always see it as little stepping stones and it's down a curvy path. So I can't see where it's going. And all I can see is the next step and the next step. I might see 2, 3 steps ahead of me, but I don't have my whole life ahead. I just see the next step and the next step. And most of what it is saying to me is, you need to have fun, Michelle. Go have fun. I want you to giggle and laugh and find joy. I want you to play around and in this playfulness, find your wisdom. And that's another important piece for me because, and it might be for you, I take this business of becoming very seriously. I am healing, I am working, I'm doing the work, I'm doing the journaling, I'm doing it all. And it is with this intensity that I can sometimes not bring in the joy. So that's where I have that practice of getting up and looking for all the things I'm grateful for. I like to take pictures. So I take mind pictures with my eyes each day. And right now, it's the beautiful flowers on my deck. It is the wildflowers as I walk. It's the birds that I see. And I take these mind pictures just saying, thank you. Thank you for this world I live in. Thank you for what I'm able to have. And we have things coming up, and I'm able to say, thank you for these things coming up. Thank you for my beautiful mother that's still alive. And it's through thatness that I reduce the intensity of my healing journey and my becoming. And on Instagram, if you're watching me, I'm trying out new story techniques and I'm trying to try new things. I'm learning new technology and I'm going to be putting some things together and using edits more and finding it fun, finding it a joy. Because if these are my fulfillment years, what is fulfilling to me? And fulfilling to me is serving, and definitely serving you through this podcast, through the readings, through the mentoring. That lights me up, and I absolutely love it. So service, really, I find joy in that. It is in expanding my mind and my practices by figuring out different technologies and different ways of telling a story, finding a hook and recognizing the insights of Instagram and what they mean. Because I'm a little oblivious to all of that. As I said, some of these things 37 years ago, there was none of this. So it's new to me. And yet it's such a powerful way that I connect with women, the tribes that I have, and messages that inspire me. So I'm doing the same for other women to give them hope. And I also recognize that this time of fulfillment is about making sure that I recognize the joy in my day, in the people that I meet, even the challenging people that I meet. I am responding less erratically to them. And I'm getting into a more curious state going, oh, isn't that interesting? And how can I respond to blatant racism without losing my mind and just having a calm conversation with them? And I have seen some positive results with that as well. So if you're in this tower moment of chaos and it's swirling in your heart, your mind, it's swirling in your body. First, deal with your body. Start taking deep breaths, taking moments for meditation, watching a candle. If you can and you have a fire pit, light a fire pit, go there. Feel what your body feels like when it's not on fire from your nervous system. And it's calm. Then start to be curious about what your heart and your soul is telling you. Where are you finding joy in your day? What are you grateful for? Because when you're not on fire from your nervous system, you start to see the beauty in the world. You start to see your beauty around you. And you start to see the small little miracles that are there every single day. And then look at the rubble from your chaotic tower moment. What can you heal, release, and have those sacred tears over? Hold those emotions and integrate them. And then start to be curious as a path unfolds in front of you. And you won't know the whole path. Just get curious about the next step and the next step. This life is enjoyable. Since I've reshifted and I don't look at my divorces, I don't look at the shifting job and choosing retirement, I don't look at those as negative anymore. I look at them as a beautiful gift from the universe to help me expand into the person I am today. And without those, I couldn't be the person I am today. So I'm so thankful for them. Thank you for listening. I invite you to. Thank you for being here today. If something in this episode landed for you, trust that. It found you for a reason. If today's episode moved something in you, share it with a woman who needs to hear it. That is how we find each other. You can connect with me on my website, michellewright.co, and on Instagram at michellewright.co. And if you're ready to go deeper, a free connection call is the first step. Because this is not happening to you, it is happening for you. Until next time. Hit subscribe if you're on YouTube. If you're on any of the other listening platforms, please give me a rate, connect with me, share it with someone else. As a creator, it really helps me. If you want to interact, send me a DM on my Instagram. If you have questions and you want me to pull some cards, let me know. I love to do that. That is my service. Take care. Until next time. Know that it is not happening to you. It is happening for you.